Greetings Rommies and welcome to Rum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to the sixth race, man, we just had it in the intro, of the Evolution Racing Academy at Spielberg, Red Bull Ring, or whatever you want to call it. Since some of the shenanigans going around the Red Bull Racing, I prefer to call it Spielberg, but to each his own. I'm not alone this time, unlike last week. With me is the man with the voice of 1,000 angels. Hi, Cody.
Hello, hello. It's great to be here at the Scarlet Cow Ring. I'm really, really glad to be back.
That's a good one.
You like that? That caught you off guard, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But I like to be caught off guard.
But yeah.
So it's also because it reminded me of the Scarlet Pumpernickel. I don't know if you know that one.
I think I've heard of it before.
That's Daffy Duck. There's a series of Daffy Duck cartoons where he is a science fiction hero, and it's called the Scarlet Pumpernickel.
Aha, I see. Well, anyways, it's good to be here. We are back in ACC. We've got another round of the ERA gold, silver, and bronze championships. And let's see. I guess I don't have it immediately pulled up, but Serta, would you like to perhaps locate and take us through the standings from the last time around?
Oh yeah, give me a sec because I'm asking the chat how's the sound.
Ah, yes. Yeah, let us know how the sound is, chat.
And by the way, are we in Assetto Corsa Competizione? Because until right now you couldn't find the server.
I'm working it out on my end, but I'll be in there shortly.
Okay.
But yes, I'm blind right now. Serta can see what's going on, but I'm still currently blind.
Oh bother.
I'll get there though.
Let me find. I always end up not finding. I just had it open, and of course, because I just had it open, I don't remember where I had the standings open, because of course, I mean, who needs standings? No, that's not here. Nope.
Thrilling content, a wonderful start to the race.
Yeah, fantastic. Dim.
But hey, we know that y'all are here for the wonderful action that we're going to see in just a few moments. And here at the start, we're really just excited and getting all prepped, all ready for some awesome racing around this track. This is one of those tracks I don't think about too much whenever I'm loading up a single player server and just, you know, wanting to go out and turn some laps. But server? No, single player session. To go out and turn some laps, but it's really one that shouldn't be overlooked because it's a fun one. I love the elevation change that there is on this. You kind of go up the top of the hill in section 1, and then the rest of it is whirling and twirling around downhill until you get to the straightaway at the start finish. It's a fun track.
Yeah, it's got a very interesting flow. Again, like you, it's not one of my favorites. It's not one that I say, oh, I cannot wait to race on Spielberg. But yes, it's got a great flow, and we've seen great races of all the possible series, DTM, Formula One, of course, and of course here the Evolution Racing Academy. It's just one that, yeah, it's okay. It's like you know, like even mediocre pizza is good enough. So this is like okay pizza.
Well, I found out the thing. I didn't have the GT2 pack. It's the one track that's in the GT2 pack.
Okay. That's the issue. Okay.
Yeah, so I've solved that now, and I'm hopping back in.
I didn't think about it. Of course. Yeah, it came with the GT2 pack.
Yep.
Are you gonna get the Nürburgring pack?
Probably.
The Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, of course. Nürburgring it already has.
Yeah, probably. If nothing else, just to race with friends in ACC. Of course, everyone's like, "Oh, will my favorite game get the Nordschleife? Will X game or Y game get the Nordschleife?" It's like, in Assetto Corsa, it's like, yeah, which year, you know? So if I'm just gonna drive it, and I can drive like you want to drive the Dacia on the Nordschleife, you can do it in Assetto Corsa. You know, it's the answer to everything in terms of content. So I will probably get that one, but as a Assetto Corsa main, I don't follow the content editions of other things as much as I probably should.
I have the impression Nordschleife is a little bit like Rain. You want to have it in your favorite sim, but when it comes to, what do I race today? You don't put in Rain, you don't put in Nordschleife. I mean, yes, I know there's people who have learned it by heart and hot lap it and try to do it in all different cars, and the crazier the car, the more they do Nordschleife, but I get the impression that not many people do that.
I don't know, man. No Dacia Logan, no buy. I just think that's fun. But I'll tell you what, there is one car on the Nordschleife that I really, really have enjoyed, and that's the Porsche 919 Evo. Because that is a car that will break your brain trying to do the Nordschleife. I say I like it. I don't think I've ever made it to Sector 3 of that track in one piece.
Yikes.
Just because it's a car that will kill you easily.
So your favorite car is one that will kill you. Hey.
A lot of my favorite cars are ones that would kill me. Okay.
So there are the stand. Oh, in Sunday announcements. Okay, I would have never expected it. Anyway, in gold, are the gold drivers going out now? Yes, the gold drivers are going out. So we're gonna show you one of the gold drivers, for example, Thomas Hagen. But how about we show you Dave Young, because he is at number 1 in the standings with 68 points. Only 1 point behind him is Aldo Rossi with 67. Third is Thomas Hagen with 65. And fourth is Samuel Jardine with 59. And Lewis Knight fifth with 56. So quite packed, quite all nice together, especially when you think that they did reshuffling, I think just before Bathurst. So now they have a lot of people in gold that were in other tiers before. In silver is quite a small one. After the reshuffling, we have Chris Stancer with 85 as the first, Adrien Morut with 84 at second, and RJ Arnold with 78 at third. And let's go to bronze, which is a bit bigger. Tobias Kolb with 77 at first, the Johnny Awabde with 66 at second, and Bassem Rescala with 63 at third place. We are just watching the gold drivers do their Wally. 6 minutes, and then we go into the race. And just before the race, remember, the drivers who got a good position at Bathurst are gonna get success penalties. So if you see a driver at the beginning of the race with 15, 10 or 5 seconds penalty, that's the reason.
And now you mention reshuffling. So we had a lot of drivers move up. So the bronze category has a lot fewer drivers, and the gold category, it looks like for this race, only has 3. I'm sorry, not gold. The silver category for this race only has 3 drivers. So we're seeing a lot more drivers on an even playing field. So it's still a multi-class, but the vast majority of the drivers are going to be competing for the overall victory in this race. So compared to the previous ones you've seen, you're going to see a lot more direct head-to-head fighting.
Yeah, some of the drivers that in the races before Bathurst were competing against gold have now moved to gold because of their times, of their positions, and so on. That's something that the Evolution Racing Academy, being an academy, being a place where you go up through the tiers the better you get, do regularly, even during the season.
And so if you're a prospective new recruit, if you're watching this saying, hey, that looks fun, I want to be on the grid next time, how can we join and be one of those bronze drivers for the next season?
So just go. I'm gonna get an invite set up for the Discord. You just go on the Discord, say hello, and then you get tested, and you start doing the courses if you feel that you need to learn something, and start doing times and get put into places. Give me a sec, and oops, here's the Discord link. And that's it. That's all that you need to do. And of course, the better you get, the higher the tier that you get. But don't worry, the Evolution Racing Academy takes the name Academy seriously, and therefore is there even if you just started, if you just got, I don't know, your first wheel gifted because it was your birthday yesterday, and you said, oh, this Assetto Corsa Competizione looks good, let me check that. So if you have no idea of sim racing, no matter, Evolution Racing Academy takes you in and helps you understand what this fantastic hobby is and how to enjoy it the most.
I got my first wheel for Christmas, and I've won stuff with it. So if you've gotten a wheel recently and you are just now getting into it, whatever equipment you have on hand, especially if it's got force feedback at all, is good enough to get you into ERA. So don't think that not having the best super amazing sim setup is gonna prevent you from racing with these guys and having a good time.
Cody has beaten me with a controller, so yeah.
We have well, that was in Wreckfest. We had this discussion off air one time recently, where if you guys have been watching Rom for a while, you'll know a while back we did a series where Serta and I played Wreckfest against each other, and he was racing with a wheel, and I guess I didn't disclose it to him at the time, but I was racing with a controller, and he was kind of upset that he learned that I was beating him with a controller. But in his defense, Wreckfest is easier with a controller, in my opinion. So I don't think that's, you know, as big of a slam dunk on Serta as he thinks it is.
Well, I am crap at racing. I enjoy it, but I'm not good. Who cares?
Well,
most
maybe
important
you
thing
should
is to
join
have fun.
ERA.
Maybe I should if I would have the time to do more Assetto Corsa Competizione, but at the moment I've been testing other stuff. Although I'm testing Assetto Corsa Competizione because I'm testing another thing, but let's not go there. That's a long-term project. So. No, at the moment I've been testing the C12 Camus wheel, which I hope I will have the video ready for next week.
And I'll tell you what, these drivers have been testing the limits of the track. We've got David Slater has a 1 minute 28.5. Oh, he just got beat actually by Matthew Caruana as I was reading that. And so he comes in with the 1 minute 28.580, replacing, I guess I had dyslexia for a second, a 1 minute 28.850 for David Slater, which puts him in second now. And now qualifying is over.
And it's interesting, Slater and Parois are divided by, are still divided by 2 thousandths of a second.
Yes.
850 against 852.
Last minute entry, Dave Young comes in second place, knocking Slater down into third. Let's see if we get any more, but it's looking like Caruana, Young, and Slater will start off the grid. In that order.
And now the qualifying has ended. They're gonna set up the server accordingly. So we have between 2 and 5 minutes until the race starts. In any case, I find the news around sim racing very interesting. It's getting very endurance racing at the moment.
Yes, I'm excited. We'll have a lot to talk about in the podcast. We'll save some for the podcast, but IMSA and AMS2 is definitely one. If you're watching and you're like, hey, what do I do with this 2 to 5 minutes? Go read up on that. It's going to be a really, really cool partnership. I can feel it. I'm a big IMSA fan. Y'all know me.
And Rennsport is also going endurance by the end of the year, the latest. Mm-hmm. On Wednesday, night and day cycles will come into Rennsport. And everything else during the year. It's gonna be interesting. So we have Le Mans Ultimate, we have Automobilista 2, and we have Rennsport going endurance, and of course R Factor 2 has been doing endurance since forever. Assetto Corsa Competizione can do endurance, and in fact in April 20th you will be able to watch an endurance race that we are going to do in Assetto Corsa Competizione, 6 hours of Spa, under the moniker Drive for Dean, kick cancer in the nuts, kick cancer. And we're gonna collect money for cancer charity, and we're gonna be racing and broadcasting 6 hours in honor of Dean. We're gonna tell you the story soon, but not today, who just wished for his buddies to drive a long stint for him.
Have we chosen a charity yet?
Oh yes, yes. Give me a sec. Well, we haven't. Dean chose a charity, and if you give me a second, I'll find it. Sometime between today and No, 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 no. There it is. And I still have time until the start of the race. It's the Macmillan Cancer Support. And we already have the Tiltify page set up. So if you want to help that charity, you can go to the link I just posted in the chat. The Macmillan Cancer Support. First of all, accompanies people who have been diagnosed with cancer and helps them go through all the steps needed and helps them do everything that they need, including any palliative steps. But they also work in helping cancer, in helping combat cancer.
20 seconds.
And that is the group that Dean chose for charity.
Awesome.
10 seconds.
So we're gonna start with a setup lap, and after that, without stopping, it's gonna be, as always, whatchamacallit, rolling start. We're gonna, there was somebody not moving. We're gonna start the race. So in something like 2 minutes, the race is gonna start for good.
And this is going to be 1 hour around Red Bull Ring. This is a track of many names. This is, of course,
yeah.
the full name, Red Bull Ring am Spielberg, and of course it was previously called Spielberg. In between that, I believe it's called the A1 Ring as well.
Yeah.
Was that a sponsor, or was that
yes,
just like
A1 is a telecommunications provider in Austria.
Also a very good steak sauce.
Oh, that I didn't know. And it's also called by some the Scarlet Cow.
Yes, at least by one. Yours truly. But before that, it was actually, it went by a different name, Oschersleben. I think I pronounced that pretty well.
No, Oschersleben is a completely different track. Oschersleben is a track in Germany.
Oh. What did I get this wrong then? What did I do?
I don't know.
I did something wrong.
I don't know how you got.
Osterreich Ring. That was one. Osterreich Ring.
Okay, that's
what I was thinking of.
Because Oschersleben is a fantastic track, a very complex track, and it's
I've got it in my head
it's
now.
not in
I
Austria.
remember. That's the one with the straightaway that goes directly into a hard right turn and then a sweeping left-hander. Yes, okay, I do remember. I got my Central European tracks confused. But yes, Osterreich Ring. That was what this track was called originally, and it had a great many amazing races on it. There were drivers, I think, if I remember correctly, in the late 60s or early 70s who protested it being so dangerous. I'm digging real deep into my track history here. Of course, I got the name wrong, so you really know I'm a reliable narrator on this one. But it's definitely got a storied history that is ended up in its modern form with a abstract sculpture of a bull and a Red Bull sponsorship, and it's the Red Bull Ring. Yeah, we're coming around the bend. This is what, sector 2 here? I've got a
No, that's already sector 3.
Oh, okay, sector 3. Yes, so we're coming
because
around to the
we're
start.
about to enter the start and end straight.
Yes, there we go. I didn't want to second guess myself, but I ended up doing it anyways. And here we go, racing. now.
You had to wait a while.
A little bit.
And the first
here we are,
corner, called
three
the
wide.
Niki Lauda corner, is always quite difficult. So we're gonna move down. Yeah, we already saw. You see a lot of
Oh, big
shenanigans
crash.
already happening there.
Looks like, yeah, we have a few drivers bouncing around. Big hit. There was a BMW and a Ferrari. Nissan gets involved as well. That was Volt off track. Rezkala got turned around, hit back in the pits. The Ferrari was Awabda, the number 2 Ferrari there. Yep, Patton and the BMW, I think, is the only driver out of all those who was able to maintain facing forward there. And then down towards the bottom we have Knight almost going into the back of, I think that was Kolb. Goes off in the grass there, but the front of the pack is off without a hitch, and Caruana is still on the lead. Rossi is there. Dave Young is a little bit further behind. Those first two have really carved out a gap here in the opening lap.
Pit window is open.
And there we go. First lap completed. Bit of a rough start there, especially towards the bottom. Ike Sky, he is back after technical difficulties, kept him out of the racing action for a little while there. He's moved up 2 positions from the start into 6th place. 5th place, you got the Lamborghini of Troy. 4th place, there's Slater. Close behind Young, closing that gap, really closing that gap. A lot of these drivers, I think that, yeah, Young did not have a good corner there, and that allows Rossi and Caruana to get even further ahead. Woo!
And we're seeing, of
already.
course, yeah, we're seeing, of course, a lot of action. We have Hagen, Belesh, and Van Holland. A couple of tenths of a second away from each other. We have, I was gonna say, Cedric and Moreau are battling for position for 14th. So, as always, the first corner has enough shenanigans, or the exit of the first corner, and the second also, because it's a 90-degree corner that you almost cannot see. You have to smell it. Rossi is at Caruana's side and overtaking him.
Yeah, really, really good overtake. Textbook. He saw Caruana have kind of a too wide exit. I think he apexed too late. Oh man, Young swerving out of the way to avoid going into the back of Caruana in the braking zone. He loses his position to Slater in the 73 McLaren, who just rushes on ahead. Really does a good job of taking advantage of the mistake there. And we're seeing Caruana kind of have trouble there with some of the corner exits. I think just braking a little bit later than he should be, I think, to try to be competitive, but it's having the opposite effect. And you can see he's losing ground to Rossi now that Rossi has been able to get up ahead. But Slater's knocking on the door. Young has passed Ike. It looks like, I guess, yeah, Ike was able to regain briefly into, or not regain, but gain briefly into 5th. And Young
when he
passed him
goes
again.
into
yeah,
the gravel.
Yes, off into the gravel. That'll slow you down, and it does slow down the Bentley so much that Hagen's able to get past. Caruana dropping further in the order, down into
Does he have
4th
an
as
issue with the car?
Royce. I don't know. He hasn't had any collisions. I think it might just be first lap jitters. The cars are starting off with cold tires, you know, that are warming up. By now they should be about warmed up, but he may have just had some issues that shook him a little bit. You know, just racing is racing.
Yeah. And I'm jumping with the camera all over the place because the cars are near each other all over the place. So...
Up here at the start, you're going to get a lot of your pack racing action.
Like here, for 10th, Perry, Calgaro, Jardine.
Oh, we've got drivers alongside each other. Looks like a really good pass on the straight. That Lexus using that that big engine to get around the Lamborghini. And he might just do a double on the McLaren here.
Yep.
Oh, a brave move. The McLaren kind of has to, pardon me, upset the balance of the car to avoid going into the back of Jardine, and that slows him down even more.
On the other hand, Jardine just kept his line, so...
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, don't die on me here.
Oh, goodness, I need a pit stop. Ah. All right.
So we have Calgaro very near to Perry, while Jardine takes off in the distance, and behind Calgaro we have Tetley, only 0.4 of a second. And we are coming to the second corner. I think it's the what's the company called that does all the sports things for Mercedes? AMS, something like that. I don't remember. Cody, you still alive? Barely, it seems.
Alright, I'm back armed with a Capri Sun. Did I miss anything?
Armed with a Capri Sun. Okay.
Absolutely.
So you, well, at the beginning, I mean, in the first 10 minutes of this race, you can miss anything just by blinking. Tetley just overtook Calgaro.
Yeah, it looks like Calgaro's kind of going slow there. I think he had a really, really bad corner exit and lost two positions there to Tetley and Cedric both.
But as I said, I have to be jumping with the camera all over the place because there's battles all over the place. Bellish overtakes Van Holland.
Yeah. Like
and Jardine
Van Holland
is
was
near.
off his line. Yeah, Jardine, it looks like he's about to get his next victim.
Yeah, because he's on the inside, and the inside is a good place for this corner, but
but look at Van Holland going very, very bravely around the outside, maintains the position. That's exactly what you got to do in that scenario.
Yeah. But there you have to have confidence in your car, because that's a very difficult corner.
Well, he was using the Porsche to his advantage.
Ah, but now he goes into the gravel. And
Porsche is
loses
really,
the
really
position.
good at being stable on corner exit. You got that engine hanging over the rear. It's very good for that. And he used it, but yeah, then in the next corner, got a little bit too brave and went off into the grass.
But he's not relenting. He is just 0.2 of a second behind Jardine and saying, hey, that place belongs to me, give it back. And Jardine saying, well, take it. Which is what we want to see. We want to see battles.
Oh,
we want
hey,
to see
let's
racing.
take a look at Cedric. No, sorry, Tetley. Tetley has spun in a very fast corner there in Sector 3.
Let's see the repetition. So, Tetley, he just... Did he have a contact? Yes, he was hit from behind by Pattenden. That's why he spun. Ugh.
All right, let's take a look at Cedric and Calgaro. Looks like Calgaro just made a very, very textbook expert pass on Cedric. In a corner, just like swooped around, but now Cedric's going to go wide, and he's going to try to get the overspeed on Calgaro. Can he do it?
Nope.
Looks like they maintain a level, and looks like the pass will stick. Although Calgaro getting real squirrely there in the corner. You see him using a lot of slip angle there. It's fun. It's cool to look at, but Cedric is really using that to his advantage to get even closer behind, and he is glued to the back of him. Oh, gets loose though. Went in a little bit too much and hit a rumble strip a little bit too hard. Loses the advantage.
Well, I posted
Perry.
today a video from the IndyCar qualifying. And you had one of the drivers like really correcting every millisecond. It showed how bumpy the track is. So it was very interesting to see. So Calgaro having to correct all the time, I think that's stuff that drivers have to do, be it in sim racing or in real racing.
For sure, but the easier you make it look, the faster you go. So the drivers whose cars are looking very buttery smooth, those are the drivers typically that are going to be quicker than the ones that look like they're fighting for their life on those bumps.
Oh, and Caruana has a moment, and Young is able to profit from it and takes the position going fourth.
Yeah, Mercedes on Mercedes, and the real beneficiary of that is Hagen, who gets real close to the back of Caruana. It looks like, if I'm judging it appropriately, it looks like Ike Sky has the speed advantage, and he's going to. Oh no, he pulls out
brakes. Yeah.
in the braking zone.
He
decides
prefers
against
not
it.
to get.
Oh, good advantage to wait, because it looks like Hagen hit the inside sausage curb, lost the car, and spun out. And Ike goes around, Bellas goes around, Jardine goes around, Van Hollen goes around, and Perry goes around. Hagen drops down to 11th. That'll leave a mark.
That's something that you always have to take care here at Spielberg. Those sausage curbs unsettle your car in different corners, and it's very difficult to get your car on track again. So yeah, you have to avoid them like the plague. They are put in corners where you lose, where you go wide quite easily, and you are already going wide because you didn't have the car where you wanted to have it, and then you hit the sausage curb, and yeah, thank you very much.
Ike is fighting Caruana here. It looks like he is looking for an opportunity to pass. We saw from the previous one, it looks like Ike is opportunistic. He's not willing to make too many risky moves, but he has definitely got his sights on Caruana. He wants to get around him. I can tell by the way he's driving, looking for an opening whenever he's able to get close enough to him. Ooh!
Yes!
Almost a collision, but not quite. A real risky move there that paid off incredibly well. Ike gets the pass, moves into the top 5.
He made the boat look nimble.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, and
Caruana looked like he tried to do the same thing that was done to him, but he could not pull it off. Had to take the escape in order to not slam into the back of Ike. Neither driver would have been a fan of that. And so a good move on escaping, but man, that was not nearly as expertly executed as Ike was able to do so. And Caruana drops down into 7th. He was on the front row at the beginning. He has not had the best race so far, Caruana. But I'll tell you who has had a really good race. That would be Aldo Rossi. He didn't start on pole, but he moved into pole pretty quickly. And he has maintained it for most of the race so far. Although, unlike many of the races that we've had throughout this championship, where you've had one driver, a different driver each time, but one driver kind of lead for the whole race, way out ahead of everyone else. We've got David Slater keeping Rossi honest. He's less than a second behind him, both in McLarens. That's the 888 versus the 73 McLaren.
And let's not forget that Rossi, as soon as he goes into pits, has to serve a 15-second success penalty.
Yes, that Slater does not have to serve.
And seeing how near all these drivers are to each other, 15 seconds are a lot.
We've got a good race going here. Yeah, can you believe it? We are already 15 minutes into this race, actually 16 minutes into this race. And it hasn't felt like it. It feels like we're still on the opening couple of laps, just because these drivers have been really putting on a show for us today.
Yeah, we have Slater against Rossi for first, Bellish against Sky for fifth. We have Van Holland, Perry and Hagen for ninth. We have Russo and Jordan for 12th. And we have Colt Knight Viero for 18th. All these drivers are battling for position all over the place.
Slater, since we last mentioned him, has halved the distance to Rossi. He's half a second back now, which at the speeds that we have at Red Bull Ring is not a whole lot. Ooh, we got a driver spinning out in front. Oh, makes contact with the Lamborghini Perroy. Let's see, that was not patented. That was not Hagen. That was
Rescala?
Rescala, yeah, that was bronze driver Rescala, last place on track right now. So we had a back marker hit our our third driver, Roy. He gets back on track, but he's 2 seconds back from Slater now.
Truth to be told, there was not much that Rescala could do. I mean, he just lost control and he went on the brakes, but hey, physics
well, I think
being what they are.
A steward would say that the thing that you can do is to not lose control in the first place.
Sure, absolutely, but
you know, details.
Once you lose control, he could not regain it that fast. So we have Slater against Rossi, Bellis against Sky. We have Jordan against Hagen. And what else? Cedric against Perry. And taking the position quite easily. We have Viero, Cope and Tetley.
Jordan and Hagen are halfway alongside each other. Jordan is trying to get around Hagen, and looks like there's going to be a real fight here in this braking zone. Jordan goes and late brakes to get around Hagen, but gets off the line. Hagen's able to maintain the position. Russo inches a little bit closer. This is the battle for 9th place. And we've got Jordan in the very aerodynamic McLaren slipstreaming behind the kind of a brick BMW. But he has a really, really bad corner and loses the position to Russo, the number 78 Ferrari that is able to get around Jordan. But now it's a fight between Jordan and Russo. These drivers are really putting on their A game today.
Yeah, that's there's battles all over the place, which is what we want to see, of course.
Jordan looking towards the outside, going to be the inside now of Russo. They're halfway alongside each other into the braking zone. This has been a big area for passing. They stay alongside each other through the corner. It looks like Jordan has a little bit more speed than Russo. He gets the pass for the moment, but Russo's looking down towards the inside.
Oh!
Whoa! Jordan way underestimates the amount of braking needed for that corner.
And Russo also had a moment.
Russo did have a bit of a moment, but it wasn't enough to put him off track like it was for Jordan, and Russo is able to get the pass. Man.
Oh! And again, the car is quite squirrely. Maybe he has to go to pit for tires?
Well, the conventional wisdom would say that you're going to pit around the halfway mark in this race.
Sure.
Which isn't for another 9 minutes.
Absolutely, but if your car is getting squirrely and it's all over the place, you may want to think about what is going on there. Unless you know, because the problem resides in front of the wheel, which would be the case with me. And we're watching Hagen and Van Holland.
Yeah. So sort of you're saying the mechanical part on your car that gives you the most trouble is the nut behind the wheel, huh?
Yep, absolutely. 100%. Oh!
Oh!
And Van
Holland has a slow moment.
Yeah. Which Hagen uses, hitting him a little bit, but it's difficult to overtake a car that is in the middle of the track without... Oh! And Van Holland's car was blinking now, so he may have internet problems.
Possibly. Yeah, for that contact, I hesitate to blame Hagen, because Van Holland just kind of, in the apex where you would expect the driver in front of you to be accelerating away, he just kind of like coasted for a second there.
Yeah.
And that might have been to try to fake out Hagen and get him to ruin his momentum, but he kind of just transferred his momentum into the rear bumper, which, you know, it isn't ideal for either driver, but you know, it happens. I wouldn't assign fault to either driver necessarily. But nevertheless, Hagen comes away with a position, and it looks like he's going to hold on to it at least for the next little while. There's a fight way down in 20th. We've got Fabio Vieiro and Tobias Kolb fighting for the lead of the bronze category. There's a lot fewer drivers in bronze. We've got 6 on the grid racing today, but they have been kind of fighting. It's been a little bit interesting to watch, although they're kind of spreading out here on the straight, but now we're coming up on some straightaways here that are looking a little bit more even. Yeah, here we go. Vieiro looking like he's wanting to make a move on Kolb. Moves alongside him to the outside here. We've seen a lot of passes around the outside on this corner. Can he get it done? Oh, yes, he can. And that locks out Kolb from the racing line, and it looks like Pattenden is going to get around as well.
No!
Although I think Pattenden is just trying to get his lap back.
Something like that. And Kolb is having some issues. He almost hit... Oh, Rossi is very near to Slater. For first. This is for the lead of the race.
Yeah, we mentioned a little while ago that he had halved the distance. Well, the distance got big again, but now... Wait, hang on a minute. Did we miss a pass for the lead? I think we missed a pass for the lead.
No,
Rossi was in the lead.
I think we saw the pass for Slater to be leader, but hey.
Okay, I'll trust you. But yeah, Rossi is really, really close to Slater here.
And behind them, Parois, who will take over any breadcrumbs that these two leave if they have any issues in this battle, so he's near enough.
Yeah, if these drivers are smart, they will actually maintain their position for now and then try to make their gains in the pits. That's coming up in just a few minutes here.
Yeah, on the other hand, remember that
these
Rossi has
drivers.
a 15-second penalty, so he...
Oh yeah, no, Rossi's going to be fighting for his life. But yeah, Slater, I think, even if he does get past, I don't think he's going to try to make an international incident of it, because both drivers will be coming in for the pits fairly soon. Those tires are going to be getting pretty old at this point, and they're going to want to get those replaced. So,
And I've gone
the
a little
real
bit...
winner of any of this will be Roy.
Yeah. I've gone down a little bit to check. Oh, Jordan, very near to Russo, now parallel to him.
Yep, coming around to that
no.
that corner.
Yeah, but he's got the
Two.
outside, so...
Oh, a curveball as Van Hollen spins, half spins, almost spins, and ends up dropping down. Although I say dropping down, yeah, dropping down.
Yeah.
So now it's a three-way battle here. Jordan, Russo, Van Holland, not in that order. But yeah, Jordan is. He was fighting with Russo. He wants to keep fighting with Russo, and now he's got Van Holland in his way. Of course, he wants to get around both for position. But Van Holland, I think, is kind of slowing down Russo, and it's definitely separated those. Looks like, yeah, Jordan taking a little bit of a line out of the grass to get around Van Holland. He does it. It pays off. And has an excellent line on to the start-finish straight.
And Rossi has gone into pits.
Yes. And Slater stays out. Now remember, Rossi's got that 15-second penalty. It's not a penalty. He didn't do anything bad. But he will have to serve a time penalty as sort of a success ballast from his finishing order in the last race. And that's just to keep the racing interesting, keep the championship level, and make sure no one person runs away with it all.
Like in other series.
What do you mean? Verstappen winning every race is a normal, healthy part of any Formula One racing experience. Pushes glasses up on nose.
So if we go open wheel racing, I prefer IndyCar. But we had this discussion in our last podcast.
We did. So go check that out if you want to hear us rant. Oh, Paroy! He comes into the pits. Expected, planned, but now we've got Slater, Young, and Ike Sky temporarily moves into third. Very own.
Yeah, these today having a much better race than he had in Bathurst. Oh, and Russo is very near Hagen.
Both bronze leaders have come into pit. Kolb and East. Both of them. Kolb now getting out on track.
So as you can see, it's about half time in the race, and many drivers are going into pits, and we're gonna see a lot of other drivers doing the same in the next minutes.
Coming out of pits is Paroy? I'm not quite sure. Having your name butchered by an American is just part of the Rom racing experience. But either way, the number 79 Lamborghini, he's back out on track.
Rum, come for the racing, stay for the butchering.
Just another day here at the Scarlet Cow.
I think I'm gonna start calling it that forever and ever and ever. Also because it reminds me of the Scarlet Pumpernickel, which are cartoons that I love. So we're keeping with this because this is the nearest battle. Oh no, Tetley against Marut is another battle that comes. It's a Lamborghini against a Ferrari.
Well, I will separately keep my eye on Russo and Hagen, and I'll let you know if there's any developments.
Yeah, also because Tetley just passed Marut as if Marut would have been static. That was heavy.
Well, that was definitely the driver pairing to follow because the gap between Russo and Hagen increased to about 2/3 of a second, and now Russo's got to try to get that back. Jordan comes out of the pits. We saw him fighting a while back, and he comes out right alongside. Who is that? Oh no, that's not for position. Never mind.
And meanwhile, Slater has gone into pits, so Young is first while Sky is second. Both these drivers have to go into pits yet.
Yes.
So at the moment we cannot really tell you who's leading the race, as we have about half of the roster still having to go into pits, and that may rattle things a little bit.
You remember the battle for the lead though was a fight between Rossi and Slater. Rossi served that 15-second time penalty. Slater did not serve any, Slater is not serving any time penalty. He's currently in the pits, just comes out of his pit box now, and we're going to see where he ends up on the position list and see how far ahead of Rossi it ends up being, to see how much of an effect that success ballast had, and see if they'll be able to get back racing each other for the lead again, or if it has taken things up for position.
Rossi comes in front of Slater.
Yes, yeah, he does pass him, but it is, yeah, Slater is about 3 seconds behind Rossi. So.
Whoa! And Rossi having a moment there on the second corner.
Oh, that's not Rossi.
Yes, yes, his car went a little bit squirrely. No, I know that it was somebody else who went out,
okay.
but Rossi's car went a little bit squirrely.
Gotcha.
Marut, Jardine, and Ike in pits. That leaves only 3 drivers who have not been in pits yet.
One of which is Dave Young, who is current leader. But of course, it is inevitable he will come into pit, and then the order will reshuffle back into essentially, not quite exactly, but essentially where it was before.
Well, with a difference that Paroy, whatever you want to call him, stay for the butchering, that Paroy is now in front of all the other drivers who have been in pits. Wait, Ike is being shown to me as... No, Paroy is before him. Yeah, exactly. That was just an issue. So, from all the drivers who have already been in pits, Parra is the one in front. Gold driver in a Lamborghini.
Now, it's showing to me that Ike has been in pits. Is that correct?
Yes. He just came out from pits, so yeah.
Gotcha.
And Young is now in pits.
So that's interesting. Sky comes out ahead of Rossi and Slater, who
Yeah.
were battling for the lead before. So,
Like Rossi, I can understand because he had the 15-second success penalty, but Slater, I don't understand that much. I don't know why.
I think Slater may have taken a longer pit stop or either... well, actually, my guess would be to repair some level of damage that we didn't see. Because, of course, all drivers are going to pretty much go full fuel and all 4 tires. And so really your only other lever to pull while you're in the pits would be for a change to the damage repair.
Yeah, and we're watching Caruana battling Van Holland for 11th.
But man, that don't tell you... tell me that pit stops and pit strategy doesn't make a difference, because we've come out with a very different order than we came in with.
Yeah. And Caruana now besides Van Holland, and he's got the inside line for the Niki Lauda corner, and he makes the pass.
That was a very late braking move there. So I think Van Holland now has the overspeed advantage on Caruana. But Van Holland hasn't really been able to be the winner on too many of these fights here up at this corner. Yeah, he maintains the same position again. We've seen from Van Holland this race a lot of getting involved in, not incidents, but getting involved in a battle and then not making the right move. I think he's not been very good under pressure today.
It happens.
I think, yeah, that's certainly. But Caruana took advantage of that. Perhaps he's been watching the number 5 Porsche, obviously active. And another driver looking at both of these drivers here is Calgaro, who's been getting ever closer to Van Holland and Caruana both. That's in the 50 Lamborghini.
And meanwhile,
22 minutes left.
Meanwhile, all drivers have been in pits, so the standings after pits are Parra, Young, Sky, Belish, and Rossi. And we have Jardine very near to Hagen, have a second away. And Calgaro very near to Van Holland, also have a second away. What else? That's all the battles that we have of the moment.
We're seeing a lot of lapped traffic getting past. That's one of the things that makes multi-class racing interesting. In this, it's not multi-class in terms of machinery, but it is multi-class in terms of driver skill. So you could kind of think of it right now as we have sort of a pro and an am division a little bit. It's ostensibly 3 classes, but the way that this race has shaped out is we have a lot of drivers who have moved up into gold from silver, and a few, I think, from bronze. And then we have drivers who are in silver and bronze, and they're pretty much all down at the bottom of the order, and all the gold drivers are pretty much all at the top. So, in contrast,
Calgaro uses an issue that Van Holland had once again, and overtakes him. And who is that at the side of Van Holland? No. Okay.
It's a BMW. I think it's Rezkala in the bronze. Cool name, by the way, Rezkala.
And we have Slater, Hagen, and Jardine.
Oh, your leader, Peroy, goes off into the gravel trap and loses the lead to Young. So Young is now your new race leader.
So let's see the repeat.
Yes. Yeah, it looked like he just kind of got distracted. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just
Classic.
took the corner a little bit
Classic, yeah.
too much.
And now he is trying to regain the first position. Meanwhile, Russo has overtaken Hagen. And yeah, what we have is Parad trying to get back his position. Meanwhile, Ike is coming nearer. So Ike is already in the podium for now, but he may want to go one step higher.
Trying to turn the Bentley bronze into a Bentley silver.
And we're watching Hagen. And yeah, the lapped cars are a little bit of a distraction, complication, whatever you want to call it.
Well, they definitely make the politics of the racing line much more complicated. Because if you're in a battle with another driver, and you know, of course, you guys are fighting for position on the track, but then you're coming up on slower drivers. That track is going to be occupied in some spaces, and so one of the things you're going to try to do is, you know, if you can get alongside, if you can force your other driver to be stuck behind a lower class driver while you pass, you know, that's very, very advantageous. There's a lot of skill and strategy.
Inside.
Whoa!
Oh, and had to brake.
I'll call it a dive bomb from Ike. Just kind of missed his braking point there, and I'll tell you what, it was really, really good forethought from, I think it was Peroy, to not take the apex, because Ike was very quickly about to occupy the apex as he was trying to slow that big heavy Bentley down. So if he had taken the apex, that would have been a collision, but they were able to avoid it, and thankfully Ike's mistake was not more consequential, and they can all keep racing. But it looks like Ike is now in second place, relatively definitively, as he has bested Peroy.
So there may be an exchange of words after the race.
Possibly, but I think it would only come in the form of apologies. These drivers are fairly civil to each other that I've seen. Yeah, Ike a little bit slow on the straight. Peroy takes his spot back. And Ike misses the apex for turn 1. And so now Peroy's going to get a little bit more gap on him. Real winner of all of this is Young, but Ike is still, well, Ike and Peroy are still, let's say, getting ever closer. They're not, but they are still on his heels. They're on his heels.
And there's other battles down, like Perry against Knight for 14th, or Viero against Kolb for 20th, and lead of bronze. So we're keeping an eye on all these battles to see which one gets hottest, and at the moment it's Viero against Kolb for the lead in bronze. Oh, but Sky is now very near to Peroy.
Oh yeah, this battle is not over yet. 15 minutes left to go in this race. All drivers are aware of it. Everyone has taken their pit stop. So this is it. And yeah, Ike is getting ever closer to Peroy. How these drivers navigate this corner is going to have a lot to do with how the first sector goes. Ike got a little bit loose there over the rumble strips, and there's also like a little line as well that has a bump to it, and that just upset the car, so he wasn't able to make a move there. But he does do very well through this corner. Goes again over that long little bump there. I think that's kind of slowing him down on corner exit here. So he's not been able to make a move just yet, but he's kept himself within striking distance. 0.3, 0.2 seconds back from Paroi, who is now 2 seconds back from Young. So Young's probably feeling pretty good about these drivers fighting behind him. And ooh, Ike hit a bump on the inside, and that upset the car, slid the car around a little bit. He catches the slide very easily, makes it look easy, but now he's about half a second back, and he's going to have to fight a little bit harder. Actually, I'll say fight a little bit less hard, because I think he's trying to overdrive the car right now to catch Paroi. You can really tell, both drivers are driving on the limit, but Ike is trying to go a little bit above the limit because he can taste it. He can taste second place. It is right there, staring him down in front of him. And that's really easy for a driver to get in their head and say, oh, I got to really push. I got to really drive. And no. You start listening to that voice in your head, and that's when you start making mistakes. So Ike getting ever closer. He didn't make a mistake on that last corner. It was a really good corner exit. He's going around. He's going to try to take that outside line to pass him. He gets alongside him and runs out of room, but he's able to make the pass. He does it, and now it's Paroi's turn to chase that Bentley. And Ike takes a very outside line.
And loses the position.
2 wheels in the grass. Well, he's alongside him, but this corner turns around the other direction now. Ike's going to be good on the inside there. Yeah, he's able to
clean
hold
driving
on.
from both, which is a difficult place to do that.
Yes, absolutely. It looks wide, but through here, especially the driving line, makes the track feel a lot narrower than it actually is. So the fact that both drivers were squirrely slide from Ike's guy there
twice.
But that corner that he just executed, that's the one where it's really important to get it right, because it opens out onto this big long straightaway, and if you screw that up, you lose a lot of overspeed for the straight. Thankfully he is able to hold on, but Parois also having a pretty good exit. He doesn't lose position, but he's not gaining it either. He loses a little bit now, 0.9 seconds back. So now it looks like Ike's not out of the woods yet, but Paroi is certainly not where he'd like to be, I think.
Maybe taking it easy. Maybe just saying, let me regain my breath, regain my senses, and keep near Sky. And in the last 5 minutes, then I'm gonna press again. I don't know. Night against Van Holland is what we're watching at the moment.
Yes. Yeah. This is the fight for 13th. And I'm just gonna touch one last little bit on the Paroi and Ike thing. As they were fighting, they actually lost time to Young, who's now 3.5 seconds ahead. Now almost 4 seconds ahead. And so Young is looking pretty good so far for the win in this race.
And in the meantime, Knight overtook Van Holland.
Yes, indeed.
Let's see if he makes it stick. Looks very
Van
much
Holland
like it.
now down 3 positions from where he started this race. But he has not had as bad of a race as Caruana. Caruana started second place, I believe, on the grid at the start, and is now running at 11th. He's not had a very good race today. But he'll put his head up and look towards the next one, I'm sure of it. Perry is now really looking for a way to get around Van Holland. Saw him make a move on the outside that was bold, but didn't quite pull it off. Drops down to 7 seconds back. All these drivers evenly spaced tonight, Van Holland and Perry. And now Perroy, he's getting a little bit closer to Ike in the battle for second. Half a second back. They had kind of rubber banded a little bit, about a second back there for a minute for Perroy. Now he's halved that distance from Ike.
And we're seeing Hagen getting nearer to Jordan, Perry keeping near to Van Holland, and Pattenden going near east. Whoa! And whoa! Did Perroy have a moment, or he's now 1.5 seconds away from Sky?
Well, give me 20 seconds and I will let you know. So yeah, I think what happened with Perroy was at turn 2, he just took the line terribly, and that opens out onto a real long straightaway, and he lost about a half a second from Ike. But tell you what, who's less than half a second from his competitor is Hagen and Jordan.
Yeah.
This is the battle for 9th. Jordan is holding on in the McLaren and Hagen in the BMW. That 417 BMW is glued to the back of the McLaren. He gets ever closer. Ooh, Jordan has a very slow run.
A little bit too close.
Yep. Hagen didn't have an area to escape to in order to get alongside him. You saw he kind of dove toward the outside, but that's just gravel trap and runoff there. And so he maintains, but wasn't able to capture the advantage from Jordan's mistake there. Both of these drivers, they're in the top 10, but this is the battle for 9th. Hagen looks towards the inside, doesn't go for it.
Yeah, it's a corner where you always think twice.
Yeah, all the passes that we've seen at that corner have been around the outside, a big sweeping corner. And so I think passing on the inside is not the winning strategy for that one.
Yeah, the inside is normally a good place to be in a corner, but that 90-degree corner, which is up the hill and which apex you cannot really see, it's always a difficult proposition to overtake there.
Yeah, it's a hairpin where the exit tightens, and so that makes it really tricky to try to make a move on the inside, because once you make that move on the inside in a hairpin, normally you can just hold on to your line. But since it tightens on the exit, then it's more advantageous to be on the outside where you can run more of a straight line. Whereas on the inside, you have to make another turn with the wheel or maintain your rightward turn.
And we're back with Hagen against Jordan. 5 minutes to go until the end of the race.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, in the time where a lot of these drivers would be making their moves, here in the last 5 minutes, a lot of these drivers have spread out.
Yeah.
This is the only close battle that we've got going on right now here. But throughout this entire race, we have had some absolutely fantastic fights. Really, really good clean fights, really good solid racing with some obviously very talented drivers here. But But yeah, now as things are kind of solidifying in the last 5 minutes here, this battle for ninth between Hagen and Jordan is the only thing that we've got immediately going on. But dang, it's a good one. As Hagen's getting ever closer to the back of Jordan here, you can see really the difference between how you drive a mid-engine car around this track versus how you drive a front-engine car around this track, with the different lines that these drivers take. The BMW has really got to rely more on. Whoa, that's not the line you take. Hagen has a real big skid on the Sector 3 turn out onto the final straight, and man, it was a miracle that he saved that. But sick drift, bro.
The
yeah,
BMW is a mid-engine car?
No. The McLaren is a mid-engine car.
But you said that it was a mid-engine car against a front-engine car, and the BMW is not a front-engine car.
Pardon? The BMW is a front-engine car, yes.
Really?
The engine is in front of the driver. It's a front mid layout.
Yeah, no, absolutely no.
Where the engine is seated behind the front.
It's rear-wheel drive, but the engine is in front. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
While we were discussing the fine minutia of front mid-engine layouts, we had a big spin from Belez. We had a driver stopped on the track. That was Stancer, way down in 20th. He was paused in the middle of the track, and Belez got around him to escape, but ended up going off into the grass, and in the grass around the corner is gonna spin you, and it spun him, and he ended up dropping down a few positions here in the last couple laps of the race. Not how you want to end it.
And because of an overlapped of a car being overlapped, Sky is now half a second away from Young.
So here, coming into the last 2 minutes 30 seconds of the race, we've got a little bit more interest here after a boring couple of minutes.
Well, boring, so to speak.
I'll call it boring, but it got interesting again. Hey, and
compared to Formula One.
Oh well, low digs, but also not hard to do. Sky and Young, now a fight that might be shaping up. 0.7 seconds separates these two drivers. And with these drivers averaging about a minute 30 around, looks like we're going to have this lap and one more. Ike is getting closer to Young. Young has lost a little bit of pace here as we get towards the end. Now remember, these drivers, the track it's not getting any easier to drive as their tires are wearing. We're almost 30 minutes away from the last time, or we're about 30 minutes away from the last time these drivers had their pits.
So we're watching Hagen against Jordan, and I'm keeping an eye at Sky against Young.
Yeah, it got less interesting as Sky dropped down about a half a second.
Maybe he's just hedging his bets and saying, look, I got second, let's keep it at that. It's okay. I don't have to force it.
I don't know. I think both of these drivers are fighting for their life. And Young maybe just checked his mirrors. That's what my money's on. Is Young was like, "Oh, I can't coast to the finish, can I? I've got Ike keeping me honest." But yes, we've got the official white flag has been waved. Not surrender. It means final lap. And Hagen and Jordan are gonna make the best of it. Coming around on lap traffic here, these two.
And the reason why you have not seen that flag here is because the white flag for the last lap is an American thing.
Yes, I know, but the proverbial last lap, even though it is an American thing, it is, I would say, fairly universally understood.
Well, no, because on SRO, white flag means slow car ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, SRO can be wrong. That's all right.
So we understand, because you come from the States, what a white flag means to you, but yeah.
All right. Anyways, this is the last lap. We're coming around. The leader's going through sector, actually the beginning of sector 3 right now. And he's got 2 more corners between him and a victory. And he's got an Ike who is 0.4 seconds right behind him. At 0.3 seconds, getting ever closer. Final corner. And it looks like it's going to be Young who will take the victory. He's claiming it right now. There we go. Leader has finished the race. Ike in second place. A very close second place there. Congratulations to them.
On third place.
Yep. Absolutely, and Rossi is going to be not too far behind in 4th.
While we're watching Russo against Slater for 6th. Rossi now 4th. Officially, Jardine 5th. And Russo against Slater. Slater ends up keeping his place.
We did have a last lap pass. Oaks passed Perry for 15th.
Oh.
And they're coming around into sector 3 now.
And Calgaro will be very happy to end this race. Ending 12th. Knight 13th. Van Holland 14th. Oaks 15th. And so on and so forth. Who would have said that this would be such an impressive race? Like, not many incidents and a lot of battles.
Yeah, this was definitely a good one. I enjoyed it immensely.
Absolutely, and now they are just playing shenanigans. In any case. This has been the race from the Evolution Racing Academy, and next week yet another race. I don't remember where. I thought it was Barcelona, but I'm misremembering. In any case,
Been to Barcelona already, but
yeah, it was a night race, right? So. Next week, 2100 CET, once again, the Evolution Racing Academy. This has been Rum Rum on Spielberg, on the Scarlet Cow, for the Evolution Racing Academy. Any last words, Cody?
I'm gonna get some more water.
All right, and from me, just moo. Bye.
Bye.